One of the most common questions I get is, why is my colour fading so quickly? How can I slow down the rate at which my colour fades? So I thought this would be a really good topic to go into more detail on. In this video, we're going to talk about what causes your colour to fade. What are all those factors? I'll break them down for you so you know what not to do. Let's talk also about the easy ways to reduce colour fade, the shifts you can make. And I'll share something that I find quite shocking, which is one thing that so many hairdressers don't even know that is causing your colour to fade faster and faster over time. So when it comes to colour fade, it really depends on your starting point. If you have a really vibrant, vivid colour, these will always be more susceptible to fading because of the way that those pigments are made up. If you have a natural colour or a deeper colour, you'll notice fade and it might fade warmer. You might not like this. If you're blonde or lighter, you might find that things fade more yellowy or brassy and you won't like this either. Let me explain what might be contributing to this. The first thing is the condition of the hair. The healthier the hair is, the slower it's going to release those pigments. If the hair is more damaged or more porous, things are going to fade much quicker. So keeping the hair healthy with regular treatments and salon treatments, if possible, are really going to help your hair stay healthy, reduce the porosity, and keep that colour locked in for longer. The second thing is heat in all its forms. So by that, I don't just mean hair dryers and hot tools that you use to style your hair with, but hot water as well. Now, there's actually loads of evidence to suggest that colder showers are better for us as humans, but I can totally understand if that's not something you're willing to do. I will say though, if you can bear to wash your hair in cooler water, or at least water that's just a bit less hot, it's going to really reduce the amount of colour that you lose from your hair. Definitely reducing the temperature on your hairdryer is going to help. If you're really struggling with colour fade, make a simple switch and a commitment to just never use the hottest setting on your hair tools. Turn down that setting to, you know how most hairdryers have 1, 2 or 3 heat settings? Just turn it one down, turn it to the middle, keep it off that hottest temperature, and I promise it will reduce the colour fade. Same thing goes for your straightening irons, curling irons, styling tools of any kind. Keep the heat as low as you can to get the result that you need. That's definitely going to stop your hair from releasing the colour. A good trick that I'll share with you when it comes to trying to reduce that colour fade is condition your hair before you get in the shower. So that doesn't need to necessarily be a pre-shampoo treatment, although those can be really good, but just put your regular conditioner through your dry hair on the mid-lengths and ends. You can even buy like a cheaper conditioner for this, because the purpose of it is almost to create like a barrier between your hair and the water. Something that includes oils or silicons is actually really good as well, because you want to create that barrier between your hair and the water. That's going to keep those pigments locked in. Then when you're shampooing your hair, only shampoo your roots. That's something that I hear a lot. People are getting all of their hair and piling it up on top of their head and lathering all their hair up. You don't need to shampoo the mid-lengths and ends of your hair. Shampooing the roots and really exfoliating your scalp with your fingertips is enough. When you shampoo out that lather, you're going to find that that cleanses the mid-lengths and ends enough. Of course, unless you've been using loads of hairspray or loads of product, you might need to cleanse the ends. But otherwise, just let those suds wash through and they'll be cleansed. That's going to stop your colour from fading, because not only have you prepped the ends with that conditioner, which is going to create like a barrier, you're also not lathering those ends too much. So you're going to keep the colour in on those more delicate areas that are more likely to fade more fast. Okay, so here's the one thing that I really want everyone to know. This is shocking to me. So think about permanent colour. What do we think about permanent colour? It's permanent, right? We think of that being the best possible option to make your colour last as long as possible. Now, I don't want to do a science lesson here, but very quickly, let me just explain how permanent colour works. When you apply permanent colour to your hair, it's going to oxidize, so remove the pigments from your natural hair. So it's actually lifting your hair. Even if you're going darker with permanent colour, it's lifting natural pigment out of your hair. It also oxidizes the added pigments together to get them stuck into your hair. That's what makes it permanent. If you use permanent colour on hair that's just faded a bit, you only really need half of that process, right? You don't need the lifting bit, you just need the adding of the pigments from the tube that you've mixed or that your colourist has mixed. If you use permanent colour again and again on the same part of the hair, and if your hair's this long, you've got maybe 2 years or more worth of hair. So if you're having permanent colour on your roots and permanent colour on the mid-lengths and ends, just to retain the same shade, you're unnecessarily processing your hair and actually making it quite porous. If you're trying to maintain the same shade that you already have, you must use permanent colour on the roots and something gentler on the mid-lengths and ends. We would call that a demi-permanent colour or a semi-permanent colour or a temporary colour in the salon. Those are varying different types of colour that last different amounts. Now, the really interesting thing is, if your hair has been dyed with permanent colour over and over again and it's become more porous and you feel that it's fading faster than ever, if you use a demi-permanent colour, which doesn't have that same lifting action of the natural hair that the permanent colour has, it will actually last longer on your hair than if you use a permanent colour. And so many people don't know this, and I teach hairdressers around the world, and so many colourists don't know this, and they're still thinking permanent will last the longest because it's called permanent. So if your hair is fading faster and faster each time, maybe have a chat with your colourist about exactly the approach they're using. It may be that a different approach would be better.